Hello everyone. Today we're going to have a look at the distribution in hospitality. That means that we're going to have a deeper look at the subsector of intermediaries. So how everything as travel products can be planned, can be organized, and most important, can be booked. How do we make reservations for our holidays? When we speak about how to get the product to the buyer, we speak about distribution. As the description here says, distribution is to spread the product throughout the marketplace such that people can buy it. But in hospitality and in travel, we are not really working with distributors. Well, not in that name. The thing is that we are not bringing the product to the guest in order to buy it, but the guest is going to make reservations in beforehand, before the guest really needs to go to the destination to consume the product. We have here to do with a service. So that's why we are going to speak here more about intermediaries. Intermediaries ensure the connection between the hotel or other travel products such as transportation and the guest or traveler. They are literally in between the traveler and the travel products, as we are working with services. So even though we can speak about distribution in travel, we mainly work with intermediaries because that is more appropriate for delivering that service. Intermediaries are all organizations, websites, or persons that are helping us to make these prior reservations for the travel products. If we were to make an overview, like this scheme, of all the possibilities of booking a travel product, or an overview of all the intermediaries, this would be a bit the result. A very, very large scheme with a lot of different options. Now, this is what it looks like. And this is looking like, yes, a mess. A further enlarging mess. Because the types of websites or the number of websites that are enabling us to book a flight or a hotel or a travel package is growing every single day. Maybe you can take a pen and a paper and list up at least 20 websites or travel intermediaries where you maybe once booked your flight or holiday. You will see it won't take a lot of time to get these 20 websites because the choice is really enormous. Now, I'm not going to make you learn by heart this scheme, so please don't panic. The only thing I want to show you here is that it is really such an enormous amount of possibilities for the guests. And of course, it's a huge challenge for hotels to make a choice between all these websites. What we are going to do in this chapter is not listing up all the websites where we can book, but we are going to make categories. Categories of websites, categories of intermediaries where we can book hotel rooms and other travel products. The way we categorize them will be based on their business model, how they exactly work. So we're not making any listings, but we're making categorizations. Of course, we will each time provide examples of these business models of these intermediaries. The first distinction we are going to make is a distinction between direct distribution and indirect distribution. Direct distribution is the most appropriate form of distribution. It is the one that is most popular and the one with most benefits for hotels. In fact, we don't speak about intermediaries here because we don't have something or somebody in between the guest and the hotel. That's the reason why this is called direct distribution. Let's have a deeper look in it. So, direct distribution. So direct distribution, direct contact between the guest and the hotel. We can have direct distribution using main forms of communication directly with the hotel. We can call the hotel via telephone, we can send an email, or let's go back into history, we can have or we can send them a fax. All these we need to know, of course, the hotel's details. Also walk-ins, so guests without a prior reservation that are literally walking in the hotel and ask for a room at the hotel's reception. These are also direct distribution examples. If the hotel has a specific hotel application for smartphones, where the availability, the rates, and the booking is made possible, also these ones are forms of direct distribution. Only with that condition that we can only book that particular hotel on the application. The two last ones are property websites and brand websites. Here as well, these are forms of direct distribution. Property websites can only book one property, one hotel. So that means that, for instance, the Ibis Brussels Midi will have its property websites enabling people to book. The brand website will then be the website of Ibis in general, where all Ibis hotels can be booked. But as well, these ones are seen as direct distribution as there is no one in between. As I said before, direct distribution is the one that hotels are striving for. One of the reasons is because it's cheap. It's cheap because we don't need to pay that intermediary, so no commissions to pay or no fees to pay after or for appearing on a certain website. Another benefit is the direct contact with the guest. As we know exactly, or as we have direct contact with the guest, we know exactly who is staying in our hotel. We can, for instance, send guests a message beforehand to welcome them, or we can really try to upsell. We can provide them information about an upgrade of the room, or to book additional breakfast or half board, etc. So that is seen certainly as a benefit for the hotels. The problem with direct distribution is that it's mostly not enough to fill up all our hotel rooms. The reason for that is that guests need to know our property already before they will reach our direct contact details. So that means that in most of the cases, hotels will of course strive for direct distribution, but they will add exposure, they will create awareness about their hotel by being listed on other intermediaries' websites. That means that they will have more exposure for people who don't know exactly which hotel to choose on other websites, because only direct distribution doesn't give them enough exposure. Now we're going to have a look at the indirect distribution. Indirect distribution means that we do have an intermediary linking the guest on one side and the hotel on the other side. Now, indirect distribution can be categorized as offline or online indirect distribution. First, we will have a look at indirect distribution offline. Later on, we will have a look at the online indirect distribution. Indirect distribution offline is mainly the, let's call it authentic or maybe old-fashioned tour operators and travel agents. Tour operators, that's the one where we were going to start with. A tour operator is a company that provides holidays in which your travel and accommodation are booked for you in one package for one price. And that is exactly what is specific about a tour operator. They are selling one package for one price, giving the guest maybe the impression that they have more value for money. Tour operators can be classified in multiple types of tour operators. We have the general tour operators, the specialist tour operators, and the MICE tour operators. General tour operators have a large assortment of different types of travel. No matter where or what you want to do during your holidays, they will have an offer for you. Whether you want for some skiing holidays or some exotic holidays, you want to go for a city trip or a weekend nearby, we will see that these general tour operators all have that in their offer. The example for that is, for instance, like you see the logo on the right-hand side, TUI Travel. They have, for everybody, they have something to offer. Secondly, the specialist tour operators are, as the name says itself, are specialized. They can be specialized in a destination. For instance, Bureau Scandinavia is specialized in the northern destinations like Sweden, Norway, or Iceland. They can also be specialized in a target market. For instance, tour operators that offer products for youngsters. Or they can be specialized in a type of holiday, like tour operators who are specialized, for instance, in hiking holidays or cruise holidays. The third one is the MICE tour operators. MICE tour operators do not have any prepared offer. Why? Because they really make travel for companies. And these travel options are customized. So this is a form of business travel tour operators where companies get into contact with MICE tour operators and are going to have their requests, their budgets, and their requirements. Afterwards, the tour operator will respond with a customized offer. Another form of offline indirect distribution are the travel agents. Travel agents are businesses that attend to the advice and booking of transportation, itinerary, and accommodation for travelers. They are also called a travel bureau. If you now look at the definition of tour operators and travel agents, this might seem very similar, and it is, even though there are some differences. The first difference is that a travel agent is also having the opportunity to resell the tour operator's packages. That means that in that case, the travel agent is a retailer and the tour operator is a wholesaler. That's the first difference. A second difference lies in the responsibilities. Responsibilities means that the travel agent has limited responsibilities. The responsibility of the travel agent is only the advice he needs to give, for instance, according to travel documents, and the help, the aid in cases of emergency. Like, for instance, if hotels are overbooked or flights are cancelled, the travel agent needs to help the guest. For a tour operator, it's completely different because a tour operator is responsible for every single detail of the package. So whether the flight is overbooked or the swimming pool of the hotel is empty, it is the tour operator's responsibility. A third example or a third difference is that travel agents are working more customized and tour operators are more working in relation to mass tourism packages. So a travel agent is mainly working on small scale and can really prepare customized packages for one single family or for one couple. Tour operators are going to work more with the economies of scale. They have a pre-prepared offer where they will have, for instance, an enormous amount of seats on one plane available, a lot of hotel rooms in one hotel available. Now, how do travel agents and tour operators book hotel rooms? Because it's not only the guest who needs to book via the travel agent or tour operator, but on their hands, also travel agents and tour operators need to book hotel rooms. First of all, they can do that via GDS systems. These global distribution systems will have more explanation on the next slide. A second option is via allotment contracts. An allotment contract is a contract that is mainly used by tour operators to book their hotel room, but it can also be used by travel agents. Now, what is an allotment contract? An allotment contract is a contract between a tour operator and a hotel, where the tour operator in a way promises the hotel to have or to try to fill up a certain amount of hotel rooms for the entire season. So, for instance, for Hotel X, the tour operator will promise to fill up 20 or 30 hotel rooms for the entire summer season. Of course, economies of scale appear here because the number of hotel room nights promised, of course, the tour operator will get a good rate. Now, if these scales are smaller, the travel agents and tour operators can also book via direct distribution. So if it's only, and certainly in the case of travel agents, if they only need to book a hotel for one family for one holiday, then they will do that via direct distribution. So the travel agent here will call the hotel, will send an email to the hotel, and will then have a look how they can book, what the commission basis will be, etc. The last option is via specialized platforms. Now, one of these specialized platforms in Belgium is BTN, the Belgian Travel Network. This is especially put in place when the travel agents act as retailers for tour operators' packages. So they're linking the inventory of tour operators with the travel agents. This is a professional booking platform, so the guest has no access to BTN. And it gives the advantage that when one guest is coming into the travel agency and this guest wants to go to Punta Cana, via BTN, the travel agent can look up all the tour operator packages to Punta Cana, their availability, their prices, and can immediately book via the network. This saves a lot of time because otherwise the travel agents will need to look to every single tour operator if they have Punta Cana in their offer and if there is still some availability. As promised, we're now going to have a deeper look at the GDS systems, the Global Distribution Systems. A GDS provides a real-time overview and booking options for inventory for travel agents and tour operators. That means that a GDS is only for travel agents and tour operators, so only for professional users. Sometimes as well companies can have access to GDS systems as they have a huge travel inventory needed. Now, GDS system originated only for airline tickets, and just up until now, the main inventory, about 80%, is still airline tickets in GDS systems. But quite recently, also hotels, cruise packages, and car rental can be booked. Even a couple of months ago, the GDS systems have signed a contract with Booking.com, making that the entire Booking.com inventory is included into the GDS system. This is a huge step forward. Examples of GDS systems are Amadeus, Sabre, and Travelport, which includes Galileo and WorldSpan. And of course, we have a growing popularity of the Chinese TravelSky GDS. The logos of these GDS systems you can find on the left-hand side. Sorry, the right-hand side. Now, on the upper right-hand side, you see as well the link to a video, which will explain more about the working of GDS systems and gives you a proper insight in these booking platforms. Just for your information, here you can see a screenshot of the Amadeus GDS system. So this is what the travel agents get to see. You see it's not a very attractive screen, but that is just how availabilities are. Now here you see that the travel agent has asked for availability for a flight between Frankfurt and Madrid. The flight needs to take place on the 12th of June. So it's always the first 12th of June, as you can't book more than 1 year in before. And here you see that the GDS system has answered with 8 options to book this flight between Frankfurt and Madrid. So the first flight is a flight of Lufthansa departing at 9:45 in Frankfurt. The second one is an Iberia flight. You see the flight number there, IB 3501, and that is a flight that will take off at 12:55 to Madrid. So here the travel agent then can select a certain booking class. So you see the booking classes C, Z, I, etc., where there are still more than 9 places available, and he can execute the entire booking on the GDS system. Just to recap this indirect distribution offline, you can see here the relations between or the multiple options to book via tour operator and travel agent, as mentioned before. So the traveler has the choice to or immediately go to the tour operator and booking the hotel, or going immediately to the travel agents asking for a customized offer and booking the hotel like that. Or the third option is that the traveler is going to the travel agent, which acts like a retailer for a package from the tour operator, and that the hotel is booked in this way. And that's where we conclude the indirect distribution offline. That makes us ready for the indirect distribution online. So here our intermediary will be a website. We have an intermediary, so it is indirect distribution, and we do it online. So we will have a look at different types of websites, all with their own specificities, their ways of booking or providing information, and that will be the basis how we classify them. So this is not a listing of hotels or booking websites, but this is a categorization how we can indirectly book hotels or again other travel products online. The first ones we tackle are the online travel agents, the OTAs. An OTA is a travel website that specializes in the sale of travel products to consumers. These agencies sell a variety of travel products, including flights, hotels, car rentals, cruises, activities, and packages. And this is immediately the particularity of OTAs. On one website, you can book multiple travel products. Additionally, they are going to try to sell a package or to create a package. Like the example we have here, if you book a flight on Expedia, the website will ask you afterwards if you need accommodation too. So it will provide you a list of hotels then. And later on, it might ask you if you want to do some funny things there. So it will provide you a list of excursions. So here we are going to try to sell a combination of the travel products in order to create a package. It's not a necessity. You can also only book a flight on Expedia, but the option is there to create a package. Expedia or other OTAs are only available online. So there are no stores or no retail centers like the authentic travel agents. The next ones are broker websites. Broker websites are also called hotel consolidators. It is a kind of wholesaler. Why? Because these websites don't create an added value to what they offer. They will create contracts with hotels, they are listing the hotel rooms, and they sell or they book the hotel rooms. So it's a travel company or business that offers inventory of hotel rooms in multiple destinations and then resells them to the final customer. In this explanation, we talk about hotel rooms, but it can also be flights or it can also be excursions. Like on the right side, you can find Booking.com, for instance, as broker website for hotel nights, and Get Your Guide, which is a broker for excursions. The particularity here is that only one type of travel product is available. So either online, only airline tickets, or only hotel rooms, or only excursion tickets. And for every single hotel or flight or excursion, there is only one price available. Providing listings and exposures for hotels is the most important element why hotels choose to use broker websites. For that, they need to pay. They need to pay quite a high commission because broker websites are asking commissions up to 25% of the room rate. But I explained already in the beginning that many hotels really need that exposure to have their hotel rooms filled. The next type of websites are meta search websites. We often call them as well comparative websites, and that is exactly what they do. They let travelers compare hotel room rates from various websites all in one place. So this website is searching on the internet for specific information, namely the rates. Of course, this explanation is about hotel room rates, but you can have this for multiple travel products. So this is the particularity that for one travel product, so one hotel, one flight, multiple prices appear. Actually, we see that these websites are still redirecting customers to other websites once they have found their best price. Now, in the future, we will see that also Trivago or other meta search websites will try to keep the guest booking on their website. Popular examples of meta search websites are Skyscanner for flights, Kayak also for flights, and Trivago for hotels. So this is the most important element. For one hotel, one type of room, you will find multiple rates and you are, for the moment, still redirected towards another website where you can book for that particular rate. The next one is rather a particular one because here we are going to speak about search websites that are acting as booking platforms or intermediaries. Now, there's actually only one website who is doing that, That's the reason why the S is between brackets, and that is Google. Google is really in the process of enlarging their booking capacities and in enlarging, helping the travelers to book and to have all information required for their travel. Now, they are still in the process, so this is not yet an ended story. Now, I think you all know Google Flights, where with a couple of clicks and, very important, without being redirected, you can book and pay your flight within, I don't know, three or five clicks. This video will show you all these options for travel on the Google website, and it will also clears out one of the problems that Google is facing today in Europe. Some of the booking capabilities are not yet available in Europe because the European Commission is still researching whether this will be harmful for the fair competition. But of course, as time will fly by, as time and the processes will continue, I think that one day we will be able to have our entire holiday booking and entire itinerary, etc., only by the website of Google. Let's have a look now at this video to define the options and a bit the challenges that Google faces to or in order to capture the travel industry. The next one are review websites. Review websites, you all know. The most important one, I think, is TripAdvisor. And when I should have given this course maybe 5 years ago, we would never have thought putting it as an intermediary, because then the original purpose of review websites was just the only purpose, namely reviewing hotels, reviewing restaurants, etc. But of course, TripAdvisor has grown up. That means that they are including other elements as well, like excursions, like places of interest, and also flights. But as well, they have started with adding prices. So here on TripAdvisor, you can see now that you have the possibility to book your hotel, and even you see that it is a comparative website, because here you can see that for one sample hotel, multiple prices are shown, multiple prices are found on the internet. You see as well that the first one is book on TripAdvisor, and that is where TripAdvisor wants to go. It wants as well to take the commission fees by making it possible for guests to book on the TripAdvisor website itself. Not only TripAdvisor is an example of review website, also Yelp, for instance, is one, but you have as well a lot of integrations of review websites on other websites, even on tour operator websites or on booking.com or any other website. You will find a rating and you will be able to click further on the reviews. So as I said before, actually the booking is still redirected, but the purpose will be that also the booking will be made available without being redirected on the review website. So here I want to make this chapter already a bit future-proof in that sense that we see this coming up in the next years to come. Also, review websites have a large cooperation with Booking.com in Europe. That means that if you want to book a hotel or a flight, but particular hotels, on the website of Booking.com, you will be in most cases redirected to the website of Booking.com. So for the moment, the cooperation is there between review website TripAdvisor and Booking.com. And here you see that how challenging and how large the corporations are for in between all these online websites, and where, of course, from the hotel point of view, sometimes you really need to have a good channel management in order to know that if you appear on Booking.com, you will be appear as well indirectly on the website of TripAdvisor, but your inventory will also be incorporated in a GDS. So that's what makes it all a bit more complicated than just having the opportunity to book directly or via a tour operator. I suppose you all have had already done a deal of the day. This was probably with one of a group buying website. Group buying websites are finding their examples, for instance, in Groupon, VP, Voyage Privé, and all these things. It is when products and services are offered at a significantly reduced price on the condition that a minimum number of buyers would make the purchase. That last element is maybe not always that important anymore, but it is the original concept of group buying websites, and it's also where they have found their name. Today, group buying websites are a major player in online shopping business and as well in travel business. It is the result of negotiating deals with local merchants and promising to deliver a high food count in exchange for better prices. Most of the time, hotels are using these group buying websites to create exposure, so to create awareness about their hotels, or to fill up their hotels at extremely low demand periods. Most of the time, we take advantage of impulsive buying. So people looking at a deal might not have the intention to travel, but as they see a reduction of minus 70% of the normal hotel rates, they might be influenced to book that room. So that is, of course, a very good thing for the hotel. Now, in contrary, extreme high commissions are asked. 50% commission or even more is not very exceptional. From the point of view of the guests, we need to handle with a very restricted offer. So maybe there are only limited spaces available. It might happen that a hotel only puts 2 rooms available per night on that extremely low price. Or you have the choice between a very limited amount of dates. That could be the case, for instance, if you only allow your hotel to be booked on these extremely low periods. Or it can be that the guest has a very limited amount of hotels to choose from. Or you even might have that you want to go to a destination that is even not available on these group buying websites. So here it might be the case that only one hotel appears for the destination you have chosen. So in exchange of an extremely low price, you might have a very extremely low choice. As well, these deals are very limited in time. So a hotel that appears today on the website of Groupon might not be there anymore next week. Or you have even worse, the deal of the day, so that a hotel or a flight package is only available today and will completely disappear tomorrow. As for normal prices, they do not appear on group buying websites. Now, to be able to speak about a group buying website as intermediary, it should be possible to complete the entire booking on the website of the group buying organization. Like on this slide, you see an example of Groupon, where we have a travel to Greek island for 4 to 7 nights in a 4-star hotel, all inclusive. that starts at a price of 329 euros. You see as well that when you want to buy this, you need to select already the number of people that are joining you and the dates of travel. So that means that once you have completed the buying, your booking or your holiday is reserved as well. Only in this case, we will speak about this group buying website being an intermediary. As we see still a lot, it might happen that only vouchers are sold. It is possible in this one as well, and you can use it as a kind of gift as well. Now, in this case, the group buying website is not seen as an intermediary, as you need to buy a voucher, and then afterwards you can use direct distribution channels, so you can mail or call the hotel to complete your booking. Then this voucher is used as a form of payment, and the group buying website is not necessarily an intermediary. So in this case here, we see it is a complete booking option. You can complete the booking entirely on the website of Groupon, and that makes Groupon a group buying website and an intermediary in one. We are almost reaching the end of our overview of the distribution channels of travel products. Two other intermediaries I just want to point out is the concierge service in hotels and the tourism offices. These are both examples of offline indirect distribution. The concierge service you all know in hotels. Now, they are also able to book, to make reservations of different travel products, mainly restaurants and local transportation, but in larger destination and larger hotels, they have the capability as well to book other hotels of the same chain most of the time, or even flights. So we can't forget them as intermediaries for the travel products. Also, tourism offices, the destination management companies, are possibly having the ability to book hotels, to book local transportation and excursions, and cannot be forgotten if we talk about intermediaries. For the tourism office or the visitor centers, the thing is that mainly we need to be already at the destination before booking additional travel products. But if we take the larger picture, the destination management organization or destination management companies, they can provide offers as well for people that still need to come to the destination. So, what about gift vouchers? Well, gift vouchers are not always intermediaries. Most of the time, they only are used as promotion and communication tool. That means that you create awareness, or the people that are providing you the gift voucher are creating awareness about the hotel that is offered and will, as afterwards, book it, but it can also be used as a form of payment afterwards. In between the promotion and the form of payment, you will need to take contact with the hotel on a direct basis. So, in order to arrange your nights, in order to book your hotel nights, you will need to call the hotel or send an email saying that you have a gift voucher. If it's only an intermediary, if you can immediately book on the gift vouchers websites. Will be here in the travel box example the case, because this is the travel box of Connections, and of course on the website of Connections you can make your reservation as well. For other gift vouchers, it's not always the case. So it's only if you are completing your reservation on the website of the gift voucher that it can be seen as an intermediary. Otherwise, it's only a form of payment. After having seen all these options to book, we will need to have a look at it from the tourism or travel provider's point of view. In our cases, hotels. You can imagine that it is a very challenging option to have or to keep an overview and to organize all these distribution channels. Because for each channel, there is a cost involved, there is benefits involved, drawbacks involved, and that's why you need to decide as a hotel manager or revenue manager which inventory you are going to give to which distribution channel at which rate. So to organize all this, we are calling this channel management. Now, to have all these bookings coming in, it needs, of course, to pass through another system, which we call the CRS. CRS is a central reservation system. An example there is SYNXIS. So the central reservation system, I always compare that with a double function. The first function is the gate function. The CRS can be seen as a gate through which all reservations need to enter in your PMS system. A gate is also a kind of protection because you are not going to allow a booking.com, for instance, to immediately enter in your PMS system, seeing that you have much more inventories left than the inventory you have given them. The second task of a CRS or function of a CRS is the translation function. It's not literally translating, but you can imagine that OTAs, GDS, wholesalers, websites, etc., all these are speaking a kind of different electronic language. In order to all combine or understand these, the CRS will do the necessary adaptations. The CRS, having the function of translator and gate for the PMS, will then be able to introduce all booking and booking details in the PMS, the property management system like we have Fidelio or Opera. And that is where we conclude all these intermediaries and the overview. And so we are at the end of this chapter on intermediaries. We have seen how challenging the channel management is, where we have so many options, both from the side of the guests, but as well from the side of the hotel or other travel providers to make the bookings coming in. We have seen the distinction between offline and online indirect distributors, and we have made categories of websites by their way of working. Of course, we started with the most preferred way of bookings, which are the direct bookings for hotels and other travel providers. So I hope that all this has been a bit more structured and that you have a good overview of all the possibilities today. I thank you very much for your attention, and I will be ready for answering all your questions via chat. Thank you again, and see you later for another topic.